episode 120, we looked at creating a Fibonacci sequence with recursion. We also looked at using memoization to speed up the recursion. So if we go back and look at the speed in which the Fibonacci calculation is calculating up to 40, we can see that it's going to take it around 5 seconds to run, just because of the recursion and the complexity of the calculations it's doing. And if we were to run this with the memoization, you can see that it's significantly faster. But let's say if we're in a situation where memoization isn't the right fit for this kind of calculation, where it's not necessarily a recursion, maybe it's a looping through a array of hashes, or maybe it's some other kind of complex calculation where memoization just doesn't quite cut the job because there's nothing really to store in memory, and it's going to have to go through the array of hashes and go through each one by one in order to do its calculation. And so if memoization will not work for the calculation that we're needing to calculate, and we need the calculation to be performant, much faster than the 5 seconds that it's taken, then we might be in a situation where we're not going to be able to use Ruby to do these kind of calculations. But don't abandon your Ruby project just yet. But instead, what we're going to look at in this episode is leveraging the power of other languages that are more geared around performance and being able to use it within our Ruby application. So we're still going to use our Ruby application as we normally would, but we're going to have a certain subsection of our application that's written in another language, and then we're going to essentially try to mount it within our Ruby application so we can use Ruby to call these methods for calculating in the other language and get our return that we need. So in this episode, we're going to use the programming language Go to write the more complex calculations, and then we're going to mount it within our Ruby project. To watch this full episode and more videos, visit driftinruby.com and subscribe to the Pro membership.